What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to Crypto Empire, where we dominate the crypto market. My name is Connor, and this is another live stream. I don't want to waste any time. Today is our weekly market prep. We have a fresh week beginning, a new Monday range, and a whole lot of opportunities to bank some coins. So let's get right into this live stream and go over it like we always do with our crypto market overview. So looking at things at large, we had our weekly candle close just a little while ago, and what happened on Bitcoin dominance is we have essentially confirmed that this is the top. Why is that? Well, we have closed beneath our previous swing low. All right, so very, very strong close for a bullish crypto market and altcoins with this Bitcoin dominance weekly candle close. There's really nothing here to report on the fact other than we have signs that this wants to go lower, confirmed signs now. Also, another very important weekly candle close came in on Ethereum BTC, ETH BTC. Let's look at this weekly candle that just closed. As we can see, it once again closed above this previous swing high level. All right, very, very, very strong close here. It looks great. There's really no weakness. And the thing is, the main target, in my opinion, for ETH BTC is going to be up here at around 0.45. Why? Because that would line up with Fibonacci extensions at around $6,000 for Ethereum. So there's still like 45-50% to run here until a main target. So the top isn't in my opinion. The top is not in. Does that mean we're going to go straight up? No, it does not. Although it's possible we do, but probability-wise, we probably don't go straight up. But long story short, there is room to run here, and these weekly candle closes are now confirming that these charts, like ETH BTC, wants to go higher, and Bitcoin dominance wants to go lower. So that's really great stuff. Let's take a look at the Crypto Bubbles Top 100, and we have some crazy action today. We can see CFX is up 62%. Overall, everything is basically green at the time being. Nothing is really red. All right, TREZOR's pulling back after putting in a big pump. Overall, the market is very bullish, and we already know that. We already know the market is very bullish, but this just shows us in a nice visual presentation. Shout out to everyone here in the live chat right now. Big shout out to James Brasco. Shout out to Elvis. Big shout out to Sean. We got Fiat Hater as well, and we have Joey Joe. What's up, Joey Joe? And Pitt. What is up, Pitt? How are you? Great to see you guys. Smash up the like button on your way in here. All right, let's get into some more of these charts. So the total crypto market cap has closed above the all-time high. The total crypto market cap has closed the weekly candle above the previous all-time high, once again confirming it essentially is ready to continue pushing up higher. Now we have our first Fibonacci extension coming in at $4.11 trillion. That's the negative 0.27 Fibonacci extension. Anyone wondering how I got that Fib extension? All I did was take this high from December, take it to the low in April. From there, I want to make sure I put on my extensions template, and we get our extensions here on the chart. So we are looking again, we're looking for this to continue to push to this target. We're looking for another $307 billion until this target, meaning that, you know, we're pretty good to continue to run right now. Things are looking really great to continue to push. Also, the total too is not yet made a new all-time high, but it's pushing, okay? So bullish. Bullish. Others as well, right? Continuing to push here. It was grinding. It's still grinding up higher. We're basically looking for a vertical expansion. Notice this stair-stepping price action. We're looking for the elevator. Okay, we're looking for the big vertical expansion on others, and it hasn't come in yet, which again is leading me to believe that we are kind of like nowhere near top at the moment. Anyways, let's get into Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then we got to get into altcoins to start the week, to prep for the week ahead, right? We'll talk about where we're looking to buy things, targets, all of the above. You guys are not going to want to miss it. Also, I'll say it right now. Be sure, if you're not in the Empire Trading Floor Telegram group, use the link down in the description below. Sign up to Blofin and join that, all right? It's going to be very active going forward. Anyways, let's look at Bitcoin here. So Bitcoin right now is still trading above 118K. We still have, this is the CME chart, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange chart, and we still have the CME gap over here at 115,500 bucks. This is still unfilled. If we see this week, a nice little test of it, right? Probably going to be a good opportunity for a bounce and continuation up. Now let's go look at the actual Bitcoin chart here on Coinbase. And the actual chart here on Coinbase is as follows. So we have this range still. All right, we've been trading in this range on Bitcoin. We've went above the range, we've went below the range, and every single time it just comes right back into the center of the range. This is not going to last forever, but this has been incredible. This range on Bitcoin has been incredible for the time being because Bitcoin has held its all-time high prices and Ethereum has been pumping. All right, bringing that Ethereum Bitcoin ratio up with the price of Bitcoin so high. That is why this range is incredible for the market right now. The longer it ranges, the better, or if it goes up, that would be good as well. All right, what we don't want to see is weakness. We don't want to see weakness where, for example, let's say we come down and test the CME gap at 115K, and then we start trading underneath it, closing like 4-hour candles underneath it, etc. That would mean we're heading to 113K. All right, the more weakness, the worst, right? We don't want to see any weakness. So the fewer weakness, the better right now. All in all, I do think it is possible here for Bitcoin to come and sweep this low that it made last week in this 1-hour demand zone. If we go to the 1-hour time frame. Okay, I do think it is possible for Bitcoin to sweep this low because this over here last week was a front run of that CME gap at 115,500. It was just a front run, right? It was $200 short of it, and then it reversed. So I would look out for a sweep of that low into the CME gap and a quick reclaim. I think that would be a really bullish scenario. And a move like this on Bitcoin, just from 118K to 115K, would give altcoins a nice drop for us to get in or continue to compound an already existing position. So overall, right now for Bitcoin, my number one scenario that I'm looking for to start the week is a sweep of the low into the CME gap and ideally an SFP, and it reclaims the range quickly. And then I'd like to see continue ranging or new all-time high. If we lose this range low, okay, that means we have to adjust and we have to get ready for the 113K level. All in all, that's Bitcoin right now. That's what I would have marked on your chart. That's what I would be looking out for to start out this week. Let's go ahead and move on now to Ethereum. So ETH, again, the higher this goes, the more shallow the pullback is going to be. This is incredible stuff we're seeing out of Ethereum, right? This is just a reminder of how the crypto market works. A few weeks will erase months of bearish price action. I'm sure you guys have heard me say that before, and I just said it again because that's just always how it works. Always. 2 weeks has erased 6 months of down only, basically. So now we have ETH coming into the $4,000 big resistance level. This has been the top of Ethereum every single time this cycle. This level is going to break. The question is whether or not, or just when we get some type of retracement, right? Because let's go to the daily time frame here on Ethereum. There literally has not been any opportunity really to get an entry on this since it broke out, right? Since ETH broke out over here in early July, it hasn't stopped. There's really been no pullbacks, no dips to look to buy into any key levels. We will get one of those eventually. It's important to understand that. Will it come before we hit 4,000 or after we close above it? Right after we close above it and then we pull back into an important level, right? That's the question. Overall, though, I just want to make it very simple. My highest probability reversal level is still over here at around $3,250 approximately. Right, this is just that previous 1-day supply zone that was left behind and it just turned into a bullish breaker block now. That's at around $3,290 to $3,250 that general area, that's my best highest probability level right now for Ethereum if it does give a pullback. All right. And again, because this is pumped so aggressive, I'm expecting a more shallow pullback. I'm not really expecting like 3,000 to come back. 33, 32.50 would be ideal. All right, so let's continue to monitor Ethereum, continue to let this thing pump. And just remember, folks, remember the idea. Remember the target in mind. The target in mind is to see ETH BTC, ideally up here at 0.45. And this should line up directly. This should line up directly with Ethereum. Right, if we pull our fib here with our extensions, this should line up directly with Ethereum over here at the -618. We're looking for around $5,800 to about $6,000 on Ethereum, and this should line right up with 0.45 ETH BTC. Remember that, okay? And also, I'm going to say it right now. Somebody clip this part of the live stream, because we're going to come back to this. Guaranteed 100%. We will come back to this, what I'm about to say right now. ETH BTC is a very important major chart, right? It can be used in Confluence to enter long trades, to take profit, etc., etc. So I'm going to tell you loud and clear right now. 0.45 is a main target. When this is up here, if you think the FOMO is bad right now, if you think the greed is bad and very high right now, just wait until ETH BTC is at 0.45. All right, that is a level to sell at. When we get there, I can guarantee it, because I know how human emotions work. I know how this market works. The level of FOMO, the fear of missing out that people are going to have, is going to be insane. They're going to completely lose their mind. They're going to be rushing to go buy Ethereum when it's at 6,000 at this level. They'll be FOMOing into the top. We'll be taking profits, okay? Just remember that. Let them FOMO into the top. You have to be in control of those emotions. The FOMO is going to be astronomical when we get there, guys. It's going to be absolutely insane. Anyways, let's get into some altcoins right now. Some alts. So Dogecoin put in a 43% move from that 3-day breaker block that we had here. Right, we had this 3-day breaker block. Dogecoin came into it the start of last week. That was the low of the weekly candle. The low of the weekly candle before a 45% move on Dogecoin. So all in all, insanely strong trend right now. Very, very strong trend. And of course, everyone's looking for some type of pullback to get into Dogecoin. And this 0.22, this 22-cent level, on whatever time frame I look at, it still just jumps out at me as the best level that I'm seeing on the chart for some type of pullback. Now, the thing is, because Doge is pumping so violently high, it's the same as ETH, where the pullback's probably going to be more shallow on it. All right, so if it comes to 0 to 22 cents, we're looking at a 22% pullback. That could happen, okay? But all in all, yeah, I still like 0.22 on Doge if given. If not, just be happy with whatever position you already have. Hopefully you guys already have a position in Dogecoin. I did make it very clear that I was bullish on Doge, and right, we made this video not too long ago, literally 8th of June, pre-breakout. But yeah, I mean, if you don't have a Doge position, maybe you'll get 0.22. But in general, we're looking for the next targets to come in at 30 cents and then around 40 to 50 cents. And then new all-time highs. But yeah, Dogecoin is an absolute beast. This is nuts what we're seeing on Doge. And it looks like on the lower time frames, it is going for another pump right now. Right? We can see on the 15-minute, it is attempting to break these highs. We'll see, though. We'll see if we do have a nice New York Open trap. What is a New York Open trap? It's where all weekend long, everything's pumping like crazy. And then the New York market opens 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. and we get a little sell-off to trap all of the weekend top longers. I want to see a New York Open trap this week. I would love to see it. But yeah, Doge, incredible strength we're seeing right now. So some coins I'm eyeing. Litecoin continuing to push. I mean, this thing can go to like $300, right? What's the all-time high of Litecoin? The all-time high is $410, right? That happened May of 2021. It's at 119 now. I mean, yeah, on these lower time frames, everything's kind of moving, trying to break the highs. We'll see right now. If these highs get broken, it looks like they're going to run more. But if we somehow end up stall up here at the highs and we show some type of weakness, we need to get ready for an early dip buying opportunity this week. This week. All right, so that's LTC. We'll see if it breaks those highs. Stuff like Cosmos Atom right now, looking quite strong. And the thing about Atom is nobody cares about it anymore. Everyone thinks it's completely dead in the water. But this is the first time it's showing strength since October, basically. October last year. So yeah, this thing is looking for a 100% move back up to $10. All right, we're looking for a move. Yeah, about 80 to 100% here on Cosmos Atom. Now, ideally, it dips into one of our levels, right? Ideally, we get a little dip into the 6-hour breaker block that formed not too long ago. That's going to come in just underneath $5. There's also a big 7-day breaker block as well, but that's significantly lower in price, coming in at $4.60. If anybody needs help looking at that 7-day breaker block, I'll lay it out very clear. What happened here on Cosmos Atom was we were in a downtrend. It had this one sideways week and then another big move down. This would be classified as a level of supply, but what happened on the way up here, it left behind the level. It then became a breaker block, all right, a bullish breaker. So that's on the 7-day time frame. Mark this one out. I don't think it's going to get hit, guys. But you have to understand, if it does, this is the best possible price, in my opinion, you'll be able to get into Atom before it goes to $10. But it looks like it's pushing right now. Same thing with Algorand, right? This pattern on Algorand is tough, right? Like, it's just, it looks so wacky, right? An obvious manipulation up then down to stop a bunch of people out. But the thing is, the higher time frame strength cannot go unnoticed. This thing is just a beast on the higher time frames. Now, really, if it did dip to 25 cents, this is from last week. I'm going to get rid of this because I don't think it gives. Best case scenario would be base support at like 27 cents. Right? Play the range here. And yeah, I mean, all these dino coins are all coming back to life right now. And they're all in a, like, these are very aggressive trends. They're just very, very aggressive bullish trends. So you have to have balls to be able to hop in them when they're already going. Right? So here it is on the 15-minute time frame right now. Really, 29 cents has just been like the equilibrium of this, and it's holding really well. So there is a 15-minute interesting level here. It's really not strong, but that's at 29 cents. Anyways, I'm looking at Algorand. It hasn't really given us much of anything. It's just been in this choppy range after a very aggressive, impulsive move. The reason I'm even talking about this coin is I'm aware of how much of a shitcoin algo is. I'm totally aware of that, right? But the all-time high is dollars, right? It's $3.50. It's currently 30 cents. I think there's money to be made. Like, this is a 1 in every 4-year opportunity on these dino coins like this. 1 in 4-year opportunity. Normally, I would never talk about a coin like Algorand, but it's just the moment for it to pump. So We're just looking to trade the very aggressive trend, and that's all. But yeah, I mean, it's basically right now, it's like you either hop in this tight consolidation or you wait for a pullback. It's up to you guys. Okay. If you want to hop in this tight consolidation, you need to be able to survive if it does end up coming and testing the range lows. All right. You can't, you have to stick with the position, because the idea is that it's bullish and all dips are for buying. So if you get shaken out on a little dip because you long it up here, that's on you. Understand the trade we're going for. The trade we're going for is all of this. Okay. So you have to be able to survive a little bit of drawdown because we're looking for all of this. Anyways, let's see if we get an entry on Algorand to start this week. Because I think it's going to move very, very hard like it has been. Hard and aggressive. We do have a super chat coming in right now from our guy Recon Runner with a $4.99 super chat. And Recon Runner says, do you use Fibonacci extensions as general levels to take profit? If so, which cycle highs and lows do you suggest using? November 24 to January 2025 levels? So yeah, I use Fibonacci extensions for when a coin is in price discovery, right? When it's making new all-time highs, when I'm looking for profit targets where there's no levels to go off of on the chart, like previous price action. Support, resistance, supply, demand. When there's none of that to go off of, we can use Fibonacci extension levels. In terms of where to pull it from, so for example, here on Algorand, right, if I was looking for a Fibonacci extension, we can even use it if there is levels on the left of the chart, okay? For Algo, I would take this high that it made December, and I would take it to the low that it made over here in April, and these are the extensions we would get. Okay, so the negative 2.7 at 74, negative 6.18 is at 90 cents, negative 1 at $1.08, negative 2.7 $1.20, negative 6.18 $1.37. All right, and we can match these up with levels of supply, and we can see that all of the 6.18s are in monthly levels of supply, right? Monthly levels of supply here and here as well. So they can be used either way. I'll give you one more example. Thanks for the super chat, brother. Let's look at Bitcoin as an example. So this is Bitcoin on the monthly time frame. So for Bitcoin, what we can do is we can look at this previous cycle, November 2021 to the bear market lows. And look at this, guys. So that previous all-time high November to the lows over here, November 2022. Look at what's happened with our Fibonacci extension levels. So on this run-up, we're pumping. Where do we stop? Where do we stall out? Well, we stall out of the negative 6.18. We pull back to the negative 2.7 because it got ignored on the way up. It can be used the same as a breaker block, basically. And then we pump again. Where do we stop? At the negative 1 extension. All right, so that's just a very basic general crash course on how to use Fibonacci extension levels. And remember as well, I always have my Fibonacci reversed. I've been doing this since I learned how to use the Fib like 7 years ago at this point, or whatever, however long, yeah, 7 years. So most people are not going to have their Fibonacci in reverse, meaning you would take it from low to high. If you use it like me and you have it in reverse, you take it from the high to the low and you get the extensions. Play around with it a little bit, learn how to use it. The only way you'll learn how to use it is by actually trying. So hopefully that helped, Recon Runner. I do appreciate your support, man. Thank you for that super chat. It looks like Bitcoin is now trying to break out at the high of this range. And ideally, I mean, maybe it just goes into price discovery from here. Who knows? All right, we also have a resistance trend line on the 4-hour coming in, right at our range high resistance. So we'll see if this leads to a rejection back to the range lows, or if it leads to a breakout. Remember the scenario we talked about at the start of the live stream? A bullish thing would be to sweep the range lows into the CME gap, reclaim, and then go. If we just go from here, I mean, that would be great too, but we're still open to the idea of seeing a sweep of these range lows down here into the CME gap at 115,500. Guys, smash up the like button right now if you're enjoying the live stream. Let's get some hype up in the chat as well. Smash up that like button. Now, some coins are moving hard, right? PHB rocket ship liquidation candle right now. Also, SPK as well, pumped extremely hard. So some of these low caps are starting to move. Coins like GigaChat are starting to move as well. I mean, we're just in a very, very bullish market environment. Now, Farcoin, as we can see, has not broken these highs just yet. And in a world where there's so many coins to trade, we definitely want to be focusing on just a select few. The thing is, many traders, they overtrade, especially in these conditions, because they're just everywhere. They're looking at these charts that they've never looked at before in their life, and they're trading them. So as a general rule of thumb, you should really have your main pairs that you trade and you make money from. You have to treat trading like a job, like a business. It can be very boring. It can be methodical. It's not really as exciting as the social media gurus make it out to be. And in direct relation with the whole trading world and social media gurus and all of that, I want to share with you guys some really interesting news. It's funny because of how pathetic it is, but it's still funny, of what happened a short while ago. So this is a tweet right here from Zach XBT. We've moved over to some news for our live stream today, but this is interesting. So this tweet is from a few hours ago, like 2-3 hours ago, from Zach XBT. And he's talking about Crypto Rover. Now, if you guys aren't aware of Crypto Rover, this is him. He is honestly like the scummiest of the scum, the worst of the absolute worst. He's in Dubai hiding for a reason, right? But anyways, let's look at what happened here. Also, if you want to learn more about Crypto Rover, Zach XBT did a full coverage of him in 2024. They said the influencer Crypto Rover ghosted a project he was paid to promote, misled followers about his trading positions, and shills his and also his shills for pump and dump meme coins. Anyways, this is what happened. Crypto Rover tagged Grok to select a winner for a giveaway, and it began replying about his involvement in pump and dump schemes and sketchy promotions, and is refusing to select a winner. So he says, hey Grok, ETH hit 3750. So pick someone from the comments who follows me only after 24 hours. And Grok responds, he says, after reviewing substantiated reports of Rover's involvement in pump and dump schemes, I'll abstain from selecting a winner to prioritize community safety. So Grok is completely blowing up Rover's spot right now, over and over and over again. He keeps on replying, Crypto Rover is a scammer. Crypto Rover is a scammer. So the thing about this guy, and he also calls Crypto Rover a Web3 prostitute. The thing about this guy is he has zero shame, and literally for over 4 years, he's just been doing the same thing, man. Just been doing the same thing. Like, it's just obvious, like, it's just pathetic. Zero remorse, like a complete sociopath. And it's all on Twitter. And now Grok is Twitter's AI, and it can see everything. It's going to be really interesting when AI is, it's already here, but I mean, it's going to be able to instantly screen and sniff out and see everything, and we're already seeing it, but we'll see if justice ever gets served. But I thought this was really funny, and I wanted to share it with you guys. Do not believe the world of social media marketing, of lifestyle marketing. Look at me. I'm in Dubai, in my penthouse. I got my 5 Ferraris and Lambos. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with having these things. I think it's healthy to have goals and aspirations to get really awesome things in life. But when you use it to basically sell a product, and the product is literally like a result of, if you want results, you have to work extremely hard and all that. It has nothing to do with flashy Lamborghinis. You get the point I'm trying to make. Don't fall for the shiny object syndrome, lads. It is literally everywhere. It's literally everywhere. It's insane. Anyways, we got a super chat from Baverona FPV. Big shout out to Baverona. Thank you for that super chat, brother. Appreciate that. Also, in other news, Donald Trump really wants to fire Jerome Powell. All right, Trump really wants Powell out. Now remember, let me check Forex Factory. Let's pull up our calendar of economic events. I do believe we have a big one coming in at the end of July, if I do recall correctly. Right here in our crypto calendar, yeah, we have FOMC on Wednesday, July 30th. All right, and the last time I checked, it looks like the interest rates are not going to be changed. It looks like there's going to be another pause. But if Trump wants to fire Jerome Powell, maybe something's going to change. Who knows? Who knows? But this is a big thing. And this is coming into play when? On Wednesday, July 30th. So real quick, it is the 21st. So we're looking at a week from Wednesday right now. We're looking at a week from Wednesday for the next FOMC meeting. That basically means that if they like pause, maybe the market doesn't like that. But there's going to be a lot of anticipation up until that. I think we pump this week. I think we pump into the final week of July. We're bullish, okay? So good chance we end up pumping into that FOMC meeting. Anyways, let's take a look at some coins and then get into some other news real quick. So here is Aptos APT, and another one that's trending but still hasn't really broken out quite hard just yet. This is like Cosmos Atom in a sense. And on APT, this price action has been interesting to say the least. It's doing a vertical accumulation. So again, in a bullish market, when you see a vertical accumulation like this, usually you'll see it lead to a parabolic type of breakout. So the thing is that it's at this resistance, it's at the highs. It's our previous range. So yeah, a lot going on here. Long story short, just to make this easy for everyone, I have this high from the 25th of March to this low over here on the 7th of April. I just put this down and we basically have a range now on the chart. We have our 50% and our range high is up here at $6. So, you know, we're going to run to this range high at $6 at the minimum. We'll go higher than that, but first we'll get up to $6. The question is whether or not we come back to equilibrium to retest, or we just blast off right to the range high and then break out of the range. So yeah, it doesn't, unless you have a really wide stop. Like if you're going to buy something spot like Aptos, looking for a 100% gain, you can do it from here. If you're going to use leverage, I wouldn't really recommend it going in right here on your entry. I would say more likely than not, if you do see a dip either to your trend line or ideally around $5, that's where you would want to buy it. Another one, another dino coin, but the thing is that there's a 100% plus gain on the table. Okay, so again, normally just like Algorand, I wouldn't usually highlight and focus on this type of stuff on these coins, but right now it's just the time when they're gonna pump. So that's why we want to focus on these dinos, because they're generally pretty easy to play, right? Once we have our support level, for example, we were just looking at $5 on Aptos. That's our general support level to hold, to buy if we get it. Just like Litecoin gave us that dip to like 100 and pumped right back up, right? We just want to buy support if given. We can't overthink it. We can't hesitate, right? Because look at what happened with Litecoin. Remember, we were live on Friday. The price was up here at like 110 bucks. The idea was to look for a pullback to around 103. It came, right? It spent around 12 hours there, and then it just pumped back up 20% instantly. So you can't hesitate when we get the pullback to the outline support level. When we get it, we buy it. It's that simple right now until conditions change. And I'm not really sure conditions are going to change right now until we finish off July and go into August. Anyways, let's see right now. Shout out to AM. We got Topi Wales. What up, Topi? How are you, brother? He says, good morning. Take a look at ZRO. Looking for continuation. Let's see, layer 0. So first things first, on the daily time frame. So 0 on the daily is at a very big resistance level. Okay, right here at 240, $2.40. Now we can see on the weekly time frame that this was previously a very, very important level of support, and it is now resistance. So 240 is the level to flip. We're currently trading at $2.35. Now the price action that we're seeing into this resistance is much like Aptos that I just showed you. It's this kind of grinding, vertical accumulative structure that can very well lead to some type of parabolic breakout. I think ENA was an example of that. Let me pull up ENA real quick. On my list. We'll come right back to ZRO. Here's ENA. Not necessarily, kind of, right? But basically, like you had this channel, and then once you break the channel, you go vertical. And it can also happen with a more uptrending channel, leading to like a vertical move. Okay, this is called vertical accumulation. This here on ENA is more sideways than vertical, though. However, the general idea remains the same. So let's come back. And also one more thing, one little educational lesson for everyone, if you didn't already know this. Like, this is a bull flag. Now a bull flag, you have the flagpole in. The most common one you'll see is the downtrending bull flag to lead to a breakout, right? This is the flag. You can also see just a completely sideways leading to a breakout. It is also possible to see what you're seeing right now on ZRO, where you have some kind of vertical accumulation leading to another breakout. Okay, so all three of these are still bull flags. They're all still valid. And you have it right now on ZRO. Now it's just like a general level. Right, well, let's put a box on the screen. This looks like the box that I'd like to be a buyer. Right, so I'll write buy in here. Right, this looks like the price I would like to be a buyer at, from 211 to 198. So let's just go over this. This would be a 10 to a 15% drop. Meaning that if you were to long here, you need to be able to survive a drop into here, but also potential wicks below, and then it might get bought up, right? But you don't want to get stopped out on a wick only for it to immediately reverse. So if you're going to long it now, you have to give enough room for all of that, and that's tough. That would mean a very, very wide stop, and really that really messes with your risk to reward ratio. And you're targeting way high up, right? 360 would be a target. Up here at 450 would be a target. So you'd still have a decent risk reward, but you know, risking 26% is not really a great trade to make 50% or so. So if we did get an entry and we can lower our risk amount, you know, that would be quite beneficial. I would still use a wide stop because I don't think this will ever come into play down here at 175 again. Topi, I'm going to assume you're already in a long trade, right? Because I know you only ask me about the coins that you're already in the position in. It's just something I've picked up on, man. But, you know, if you're already long, beautiful. You know, you're positioned for this breakout already. If it does dip, I'd like to see like $2.10 to like $2 as a level to buy. Let's see if we can find anything, like any levels. Yeah, I mean, listen, if you see it around $2, that's the buy level. If it just breaks out before that, it might just pump without pulling back at all. But anyways, Topi, great to see you, man, and thank you for the shout there on ZRO. Big shout out to Green Chili Pepper. Coins like BNB right now are close to new all-time highs. Right, very, very close to new all-time highs here on BNB. Thoughts on the chart? Fiat hater, brother, it's going into new all-time highs. Right, you can take a fib, pull it like this, get some extensions up here, and you can see your 0.27 is going to come in at $871, and your 0.618 is at $973. So it looks like BNB is about to make a new all-time high there. Let's see. Mike B 1800. What's going on, Mike B? Let's actually check up on what's going on here. So funding rate is quite green, and open interest looks to be dropping a bit. Anyways, longs are paying shorts currently. So I'd say to answer your question, like the open interest down here is high, but it's pulling back. But yeah, your funding rate being green like this, I mean, we're just hot, we're bullish, and I would say that there's a decent amount of leverage in the market right now for sure. Let's go to the weekly. But nowhere near what we've seen. Yeah, we're actually at we're at the same leverage we saw at the peaks on Bitcoin in December 2024. And let's see, March. Yeah, so we're higher actually. So there's a lot of leverage right now compared to previous tops, March 2024 and December 2024. Let me see something real quick. So some other news, guys. This is a post from Kraken Exchange. They said, good morning, Apu is up 19%. So as you guys know, if you watch my channel, I'm bullish on Apu. I like Apu as a meme coin. 100 million market cap right now. If you guys recall, in the Mastermind, we did get an entry at 40 million market cap. And, you know, it spent a lot of time between like 40 and 80 million market cap. Plenty of time for everyone to accumulate. I think it was just last week that I shared how it was still in the weekly accumulation. And it's just about to break out now. So anyways, my targets for Apu are 500 million market cap to $1 billion in market cap. From here, that's a 5 to a 10x. And I think the targets will get ran. I'm bullish on Apu if you're wondering. And that's it. Shout out to Kraken for the tweet today. Also, in other news. So there's going to be a crypto policy report tomorrow on July 22nd, right? On Tuesday, July 22nd. So a lot of regulation coming into play. A lot of work the United States government is doing. All the regulation, setting up for the big bear market to take out all of the altcoins after this glorious run we are in the midst of right now. Let's enjoy it while we can, because these 10 quadrillion altcoins that exist right now, they're not going to exist in a few years' time. So we have to make the most of it while they are still actually here. Good times don't last forever, folks. After good times come hard times. That's just life. Mike B. He says, assuming a big liquidation flush soon, makes sense straight to the CME as you mentioned. So yeah, Mike, great point, right? I like the way you're thinking right now, planning ahead. So we have already talked about how we would love to see a New York Open trap. And the New York Open trap is essentially where you pump all weekend long. Everyone's max bullish over the weekend. Pump on Sunday. Everyone's home from work, looking at the charts, looking at crypto, FOMOing into coins. And then Monday comes along and you get a big womp, womp, womp candle to basically punish all of the late longers. So yeah, this is really interesting. We're at an inflection point right now on Bitcoin. Are we going to break this 1 hour trend line or not? Are we going to get a New York Open weekend trap? The weekend trap would be this. A nice liquidation flush to the range lows. Everyone panics. Everyone freaks the heck out. And that's the trap, because then it'll reclaim ideally and break out. So if we get that and we see a liquidation on Bitcoin, I went over several altcoins on prices I want to be a buyer, not that far away from the current market price to buy a dip. So we'll see if we get anything like that. Elvis with a super chat, but no, here we go. So Elvis says, hi Connor, potential price targets for TREB and Woo. So TREB potential price targets. So current market cap 2.3 million. Personally, in terms of expectations and market caps, I think that this is, if you look at other things, I mean, I see zero reason this shouldn't run to the deca millions in market cap, right? If not hundreds of millions. The thing is, it's such a small market cap, it's hard for people to understand that. But I think it's possible, right? So price targets, they're hard to say just to give arbitrary numbers. But a 10x to 23 million market cap seems like child's play. A move to a 50 million market cap seems very reasonable. And 100 million market cap seems like it could be quite a stretch, but it's also in the realm of possibilities. So I'm looking for big numbers on treble. Okay, I'm not looking to sell at 2.3 million market cap personally. I think that this thing's a runner. How high it exactly goes, it's really hard to say with arbitrary numbers. But like I said, I think 20 million is child's play. I think 50 million is very realistic. And then Woo. So Woo is an exchange coin, centralized exchange coin that has been around for quite a bit now. But Woo is looking to break out of this little bottoming accumulation that it's just gone through. So I don't think Woo will go on to make a new all-time high. because it has so much history. It's second cycle now. It's been around a bit, right? So price predictions for Woo. I would say 30 cents, and then around 50, 60 cents would be best case up here. Right? Here in this level is a target, and then this is your first target. But yeah, like 30 cents and then like 50 to 60 as best case. All right, we'll put BCS, best case scenario. We got Baverona FPV with a super chat. By the way, Elvis, appreciate you, man. Baverona says, thoughts on MCADE on base. So this is a gaming project on base, and there's a lot of hype around this one. A lot of influencers are talking about this coin. Whether that's paid marketing or not is up to interpretation. But I encourage you guys to use your discernment. Right? Discernment goes a very long way in the crypto market. Anyways, thoughts on Medicaid? Well, their goal is to be like the big base gaming project. And I mean, it's possible they pull something like that off, right? The chart right now is interesting on the weekly, right? A lot of buy pressure has come in over the past 2 weeks, and it's now at resistance. So yeah, if it breaks this resistance, I would look for it to push and run to potentially new all-time highs. But in terms of the fundamentals of it, look, it's a gaming project. And in terms of gaming and coins, how they work, usually they're all going to move in tandem. And when gaming does well, then there's a good chance this one will do okay too. Got nothing bad to say about Medicaid. But Babriona, thank you for that super chat, man. All right, guys, we are going to wrap up this stream. This one even longer than I expected it to be honest with you. We're 50 minutes in. But hey, look, I appreciate every single one of you for being here, guys. Smash up that like button. There's only 56 likes and over 120 people watching. That's so weak. Like, that ratio is pathetic. Please smash the like button for me. I really appreciate it when you hit the like button. I want to see over 100 likes within the next 30 seconds of me ending this live stream. When I check tomorrow and I look at the replay, I want to see 500 likes. Get the numbers up, guys. Let's go. I'm going to come here. I'm going to give you the sauce. I'm going to give you the juicy details day after day. I expect you to hit the like button. If I don't see these likes start going up, we may have to change some things around here, and I don't want to do that. So smash up that like button. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for all of your support. I'll see you all very soon right here at Crypto Empire, where we dominate the crypto market. Have a great day and a great rest of your night.